American Printing House for the Blind presents the Picture Maker Wheatley Tactile Diagramming Kit. And now, Patty Wheatley.
Let's see, originally I used this very similar to what I use it for today. I just have more creative ideas now on how to use it. I let my students guide me, and we used it initially for concepts that I could not teach for my little children. I had a whole slew of elementary school children then, like kindergarten, first and second graders. And they had questions that I could not give them answers to or give them a diagram of right offhand. We'd be out on a lesson and we'd hear something and it would be the trucks that grind the tree limbs. What does that sound? What does that sound? And I'd say, that's a whisper chipper tree grinder. And they'd want to get up there and look at it and touch it and feel it and so forth. And my descriptions oftentimes weren't adequate really for them to get the big picture. It seemed as though they always got little pieces of the picture, but there were still sections that they couldn't put together. So in those situations, I would draw a crude, albeit crude picture, but something that would give them the big picture of what we were looking at, and I could tell them and demonstrate to them with their fingers on the picture, okay, listen, here it goes, they're sliding it in right here, here's being chopped up, now it's going to spit out over here. And then, once the kids figured out I could do that, they had so many questions to ask. Oh, Miss Patty, go get that board. I need you to show me Ferris wheel. Took it to the carnival one time. And it helped them to decide which rides they would and would not ride on, because some of my students wanted to see what this was all about before they put their body in it. That's what I used it for initially. And then as the kids outgrew their classrooms and their orientation improved and they were traveling more independently within the schools, that it made a wonderful tool to teach, and then a testing tool to see what it is that I actually taught. Boy, was that.
Here's a little hallway, and we're going to go straight ahead by the front doors and find that wall that has this, it's got a bulletin board on it, and it's got pictures and stuff. Put your left hand down. Or you're looking for the wall that we get to when you're looking for the bulletin board and the pictures, huh? Okay, yep, keep going. Yeah. There's the bulletin board. Good job, we just made a turn. There's the pictures on the wall. Yep, good job.
Nowadays, I tend to use it more for route mapping because my little guys are now older and I haven't gotten any little bitty ones come in recently.
Kind of like this. The school's back over to our left, over there. And we came down and we made a little left-hand turn and we're continuing on. We're going to make another little left-hand turn coming up in front of us. Okay? And then we'll finally get to your house. Way over there. Okay.
I guess the most unusual skill that I've ever taught with the picture book was an Easter egg hunt, I think, for about an 8-year-old who was hunting Easter eggs with his family at the church. So he was familiarized with the general layout of the lawn, and then I mapped that, we went over it, and then I put specific pieces where each egg was hidden so that he actually had a chance to get there before all the eggs were snatched up. And he was very excited about that. And in fact, he took the kit home that night because he didn't want me to tear it apart. He wanted to relive his adventure of the Easter. It's good for sorting, grouping, all those wonderful pre-math, kindergarten math skills. And I've seen it used in a first grade classroom for mathematics.
Triangle first.
Okay.
I found the first triangle already.
There are again some little triangles and some big triangles. What does that triangle feel like?
Those triangles have been sticking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And there's an art teacher in one of my schools that has a kit that uses it for art concepts that she's trying to promote.
It's got automatically 2 eyes.
Okay.
Yep. With a nose, the mouth and nose. The nose is right here, and the mouth is right in that hole. And
Okay.
this is his eyes. This is the rest of his face.
Helping to recognize how grocery stores are laid out, what aisles we need to go to, where the entrance is, where we're going, how you can go up and down and sneak in and out the aisles, how they have 2 sides, etc., where the checkouts are. And so I use it more for orientation within the community now that the kids are older. It's also very good for spur-of-the-moment situations, which I have often where I get a referral and I'm called in and I've never been to that little town before. I don't know what I'm going to face when I get there. I don't go without my board. My husband, when he was in college, had opportunity where they were doing graphs and economics class in college. And so you just have the basic graph and then the teachers on the board all the time drawing the supply and demand lines and so forth. It was very easy for him to either set the three-line graph up here on the page, and as the teacher would pass by, he could change and twist which way the stick or the rise needed to go on the slope of the line, and then he would have a good measure of what they were actually talking about instead of saying, on this graph, blah, 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 and he wouldn't know exactly what they were doing. So this way, he had a clue. And also, he used it for flow charting.
I wanted to explain a little bit about the organization of the department, with this box up here being the department head.
Right.
And that would come down to people that work with and are on sort of the same level.
But all answer, each of them answers to you, right?
Right, right. With this line coming down.
Right.
Each of them answering, going back to this main line to me, which
Right.
I guess would work.
This would be, let's say, Roberta, and then Nancy, and then Carol.
Right.
With the museum. Carol has an assistant, with this being Carol, who works for her, and answers to her.
I find as the kids get older, they tend to use it as a tool for sighted people to communicate with them.
But this is going to represent an office the way it currently is, and I was going to talk to you about some alternatives to the way it might be. The office right now is well, I'm going to have this represent a hallway, and this is going to be the doorway.
Okay,
It comes into the room this way, with this being the back of the room where the window is.
all right.
And as you come in the door facing toward the window, to your right you'll have these bookshelves in the corner.
Oh, yeah, they go down one side and
Right,
then
okay.
down the other side, okay?
And then straight in is going to be, this is going to be the desk.
Right.
As it
Okay.
currently is anyway.
Right.
There is to the right of the desk a computer stand table that where the work on the computer, and there's a phone there. But that's going to be, I'm going to be going from this desk to that computer stand the way
Right.
most often.
Without necessarily having to get up and walk, just maybe
Right.
just turn your desk chair and to it, okay?
Right. And this here is just another piece of furniture in there called a credenza
Okay.
that I just have stuff on. And,
Okay.
and this over here is a round table for people to have small meetings at.
Let's mark a place there about where you're going. I can just, I'll give you this. You can use anything you want to. This whole,
And this would be, let's see.
I'm gonna pull some of these up so they're not
Actually, running into it.
And it's going to be, again, over on the west side of State Street.
Let's just have her have a semicircular driveway.
Okay.
And with a little space in between for the sidewalk.
Okay.
Yes.
And its most identifying characteristic is going to be, actually that, yes, that too. If you want to get something that says just beyond where you've got her house placed,
And there's a retainer wall type of thing.
it's an outcropping of rock.
The best way to keep this board clean is to take all the pieces off, because they will shed little white flecks, and it'll collect dirt, and dirty fingers get on it. Is to use a adhesive lint roller, and a couple swipes of that every few months tends to do the trick, and it keeps it looking just like it does when it's new, and just a wet rag on the front works fine. Take off pieces, right? I probably got half of the pieces off my board because it's too full and it's too cluttered and you don't have room to map and it's distracting. It's not how many pieces you have, it's the variety of pieces you have. So pick through what you think are the most interesting, or one or two of each, and save the rest for when those get removed and you wear them home, or you find them on your students' jackets. Because you don't need all of the pieces. It's not the number that makes it valuable. It's the variety of the pieces and the textures and the colors. And when you're getting a student ready to map with this board, it's very helpful if you group the pieces accordingly. Like put your strips together, put your squares together, your right angles together, your circles together. I'm not saying it has to be militarily, regimentally organized before you hand it to them, but it sure saves a whole lot of searching when they can scan quickly and, okay, these are all eyes, these are all right angles, okay, these are donut circles, these are rough triangles, right? They can scan the board to find the piece they want. Oftentimes things get all jumbled up after you've used it a couple times, and students have it all messed up, and then I'll have a student come in and they'll go, oh, I just can't use it like this. And they'll organize it for me for the next child when they're done. Now the kids, they'll map, and when they're finished, they put it back. Once they make their map and they have their pieces where they want them, I don't mess around with it. It's theirs to control. It's theirs so that they remain oriented and they know where things are. But if I'm going to lay it out to assess what's their concept of above, below, between, beside, whew, that's really handy to do, and it keeps it interesting because there's so much variety.